Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jai Ma. Jai Ma. Sabko Jai Ma. I hope all of you are well. Okay. Today's question, where is it? Okay. It's NLFM19 username. She's saying, Swamiji, please narrate instances of Ma's grace. It would help when we are bogged down. Like I said in the last video, that this person has asked this question. And bogged down, why are you bogged down? Just imagine what would have been the impact on seekers here had she traveled to any of the countries in Europe or UK, etc. She had mentioned it was a long lecture she gave me. Not lecture actually, but I'm going to read what she's written, okay? Because I couldn't fit it in the thumbnail. So she's talked about her feelings. She says, Swamiji, actually in gratitude, several instances of Ma's grace can be re-narrated and rediscussed in some upcoming videos. Besides being emotionally and spiritually exhilarating, hearing such a discussion would be satsang, and it would revive those of us who keep getting bogged down. Since the whole earth is her garden and playground, Mother might as well have traveled to Europe and could have chosen to stay there, thereby obliging receptive souls located far away from us. This too is her limitless grace, that her visible, tangible form continued to stay here. Just imagine what would have been the impact on seekers here had she traveled to any of the countries in Europe or UK, etc. This was the letter she wrote to me. And so I've comprised the whole thing and shortened the whole thing to fit it in the thumbnail. So basically, re-narrating, I can tell you one or two instances. And if you talk about Ma, her divinity, her grace, even though I was not interested, okay, those days, when I was young, I was not interested in any of this. But her beauty was so much, it was absolutely, like you're saying, mind-boggling, okay? She had this fantastic grace about her, long, beautiful hair, and she used to flick her hair whenever she walked, she would flick it like that. And her smile, when she would laugh, you can't imagine, people, whoever was sitting there, whether they understood or didn't understand, they laughed. It was so contagious. Everybody started laughing. For what? One doesn't know. Her entire persona was such that people just got attracted like, honey, bees, like she's the honey and bees are coming and grabbing her, kind of thing. So her grace was her divinity, her smile, and whenever you went close to her, there was this fragrance of lotus and roses all around her. Her body would be exuding that kind of, fragrance. And I would wonder sometimes, ki itni khushboo kahan se aa rahi hai? How Ma is smelling so beautiful. It's like all roses and lotuses all over her. Never understood those days what she was or who she was. She was just, I can just picture, even though I was not interested those days, I still remember each and every gesture that she did. Each and every movement, the way she used to walk, the way she used to smile or laugh or look at you with that kind of compassion. It is unbelievable, And I'm so lucky, so blessed that I met her, Even though I didn't understand, she knew exactly what was happening. So now one incident I remember, and you're saying that, it's good that she didn't go abroad. What is abroad for her? Like you're saying, this whole universe is her garden. She's like walking from one place to the other, like she's always mentioned. कि आप लोग क्या करते हो, एक कमरे से दूसरे कमरे में जाते हो. For me, the whole universe is that. It's just my whole place. So whether she was here or she was there, she was always with us. With everybody. So even if she didn't travel physically to UK or Europe or whatever you're saying, people had her darshan over there. They could see her. They could actually see her. So for her, it was, for us, it is like, okay, she didn't travel. Yeah, she didn't travel. So one incident that I remember, I had a dog, okay? His name was Goofy, we had named him. It was a golden retriever. I was very fond of dogs. My whole family was very fond of dogs. So he was such a loyal and wonderful, faithful dog I had. One day, I took my doggy to the ashram. Chaos. So all the sadhus over there, the brahmacharis, brahmacharinis, all got angry at me, and they said, what is this? तुमको अक्ल है कि नहीं है? तुम कुत्ते को लेके आई हो आश्रम में? You brought your dog to the ashram. Do you have any common sense or not? And they started firing me, all of them. And what had I done? I had taken my Goofy and tied his leash on Ma's kutia. Ma was in her kutia, she was inside with Guru Priya Didi, So both of them were inside, and I tied the leash of the dog in her kutiya's, one of the fences or something. And these people were so angry at me, and they said, Abbi ka abbi, take the dog out. We don't want this in the ashram. So I just put my head down, and those days I used to talk very little. You won't believe, but I was very, very shy. Okay? And I could hardly speak. So I just put my head down and I said, if the dog goes, even I go. If you ask me to send him away, then I will also walk out of the ashram. So they said, look at her, look at the way she's talking. All that went on. Now this chaos, obviously Ma heard inside. First, Didi came out. And I was very scared of Didi because her personality was such, she's robust and huge and big, And I used to be scared of her. So she came out of the kutia and I said, oh my God, I've had it now. She's going to fire me. And what do I see? Behind her, Ma peeped like this at me, Ma was walking behind her and she just peeked like this. And I said, oh my God, Ma is also standing with her. She's also coming out. I said, now what? I don't know what's going to happen next. Ma came out, came down where the dog was, went up to my Goofy, put her hand on his head, patted him and said, Ram, Ram, bolo. Can you imagine what this dog was? God knows which, who he was and how he came here and how he took a form of a dog and came to my house. Maybe in the past life he was somebody great. We don't know. The fact that Ma patted him and said Ram Ram Bolo was a very big thing. And everybody kept quiet. After that, nobody had the guts to tell me to take the dog out. Ma did it in one jiffy. Ma just came and did that and went away. And everybody was quiet and I was very happy. Till today, people remembered, okay, you brought your dog to the ashram. I said, yes, I did. So that was one incident I'm remembering. Another one that I've remembered is whenever Ma came and we went for her darshan, I never used to, like I said, I never used to push myself. There was huge line and queue of people and they would be standing in queue to have her darshan and she would be in her kutia. And my father would say, let's go and, do her darshan. I said, I'm not coming inside. I'm not going to be pushed around. People will push and pull and all that and I'm not interested. So I'm not coming. I'm standing outside. So there in the garden, there used to be trees and plants and whatever. I would stand under the tree. And I would say, you go do darshan. I'm standing over here. I don't want to come inside. And I wouldn't go. So one day this happened and my father went in. So Ma looked out of the window. Obviously, Ma knew that I was standing outside under the tree. So she says, Kahan hai? She's asking my father. So my father was embarrassed again. And he said, Ma, to bole, haan, wo ped ke niche khadi hai na, pata hai. Usko akkal nahi hai. She doesn't have any common sense. Usko pata nahi hai कि वो ऋषि कन्या है. Ma's words, not mine. And my father said, yeah, she's, she doesn't want to come in. So she says, yes, I know. Usko to akkal hai nahi. She doesn't have common sense and she doesn't know who she is. Obviously, I didn't know who I was. Till today, I don't know who I am. But these are Ma's words, which is a very big thing. Today, I realize that. Those days, obviously, I didn't. So these are some of the incidents, that one remembers and one remembers Ma, and I'm remembering all these things now. And I'm sometimes, I wonder and I tell myself, I wish I had known her then, And I keep telling my father, I wish I had known her then. My father said, no, She didn't want it that way, because if you had known her then, you would have walked out of this house. You wouldn't have been with us. We wouldn't have had to you for seva or anything. The kind of seva you've done for your parents. Obviously, Ma knew that we needed seva, so she didn't, awaken you at that time and made you realize who she was. If that had happened, you would have walked out that very minute. I said, I suppose so. I don't know. Actually, she changed my life after she left her body. She left in 82 and my life changed in 1995. Yeah, that's the time she changed my life completely. So it's been a great journey for me, And look at the things she's done for me, or she's done for anybody for that matter. From the glamour world to come here. Yes, one more incident I've remembered. I wanted to be in the glamour world. I wanted to be in the entertainment business. So one day I told my father, let's go to Ma. And she was in Agyatwas, where it's very like secluded kind of a place where she stays. She used to go in Agyatwas every now and again, every year. And one or two very close sadhus would be with her, nobody else. And nobody knew where she was. It was that way. So she was in Agyatwas, but Swami Bhaskaranji that time, he was a brahmachari. He was with Ma and he was very close to my father. So my father must have asked him, where is Ma? And Ma was in Bhimpura ashram those days, in Agyatwas. So he said, she's in Bhimpura and we are here with her. So my father said, my daughter wants to meet her and can we come? So he said, yes, come. So we drove down from Bombay to Bhimpura ashram. It's a long journey. We went there and I wanted to talk to Ma. Now Ma was alone, there was no crowd, there was nobody, except Ma in her room. So Bhaskaranji was sitting outside and he said, you go inside. So both of us went, my father and me. And I had told my father that I'm going to ask her this, you talk. He says, no, not me. You will say whatever you want to say. I said, okay. So we went inside and the moment you see Ma, na, आपकी बोलती बंद हो जाती थी. मेरी तो बोलती बंद ही हो जाती थी. Just looking at her, you would forget everything. It was like that. So she was sitting on her chowki like Narayan and I was sitting on the floor with my father. And she was looking the other way. I'm sitting here, she's looking the other way. And I said, now, how do I tell her? So I was nudging my father. I said, you tell her. He says, no, you will talk. So she just turned around and said, Ki, means what? In Bengali. Ki, she said. I got so scared that I started rattling off, And I said, Ma, I'm joining the movie industry and I want to go there and I want a lot of success over there. And if you don't give me success, it'll all be your fault. I said this to her. Can you imagine? That if I don't succeed, you'll be to be blamed. You'll be to be blamed and I will have to come back one more birth if you don't allow that to happen. So you have to do something. All this nonsense I said. All the rubbish in the world. भगवान को मिलके क्या पूछते हैं कि मुझे मुक्ति दे दो, मुझे आपसे मिलवा दो, right? I want to be one with you. But who had the common sense that time that I asked for something so stupid, She didn't utter a word, not one word. Then she turned around, looked at me and said, get up, go out, go and meet Swami Paramanandji. Now, all the worldly things that people wanted to ask or discuss, Ma never discussed any of the worldly stuff. So she would direct everybody to Swami Paramanandji. And you could go and rant out whatever you wanted to Paramanandji. So she told me, get up and go out of the room. I was so upset. I came out and Bhaskaranji was sitting outside. He said, what happened? He was asking me. I said, what happened? I came all the way from Bombay to tell her this. And now she's telling me, you go and meet Paramanandji. She didn't say a word to me. So he said, she said to meet Paramanandji. He was so naive and innocent and such a beautiful soul. He said, come on, let's go and meet Paramanandji. I said, I don't want to meet Paramanandji. I'm not meeting him. I'll go home. Now Ma said this to me. I'm not interested in talking to anybody else. And I didn't go. I didn't meet Paramanandji, nothing. In the meantime, my father was sitting in the room, which he told me much later. Now, he's told me now. Matlab when my life changed. So he said, I sat over there and I just requested Ma ke Ma iska kalyan kar do. Bless her and improve her life, So Ma just looked at him and smiled. That was it. So whatever request had to be done, my father did it. And if he had told me at that time, I would have been very angry. Then I went for another purpose and you said something else, So obviously he didn't tell me at that time, but much later he told me. And I said, oh my God, you did? He said, yes, I did, So Ma is so beautiful. I mean, she never judges you. She never, aap jaise bhi ho, good, bad, ugly, whatever you are is acceptable for Ma. So, the judgment comes from our side, not from her side. Never. So that's all. I hope you're happy with the narration and re-narration and re-narration. Jai Ma, I'll see you next time.